Hey everybody, it's Dale Jr. back again for another episode of the Dale Jr. Download here in the Bojangles studio, and we got a big week for you here on the Dale Jr. Download. Dirty Air today, and then tomorrow our guest Ray Evernham. It's going to be exciting. In the studio for Dirty Air, my wife Amy. Hey, it's nice to have Amy here. She's going to help us sort of recap the Daytona 500 and everything that happened Monday. We're also going to have William Byron calling in to tell us what he's got going on. He's going to be running around doing media, and then Ask Junior later in the show. It's going to be a lot of fun. Let's get started. All right, so there's a lot to get to, and having Amy here is going to be a lot of fun. Amy, you watched some of the races.
I was allowed to watch by our daughters, yes.
We were texting back and forth a little bit about our day as I was in Daytona, and Amy was home watching the girls. But first off, I want to thank you, man. We were flying to the racetrack expecting to see the Xfinity race at 11 o'clock, and we learned mid-flight that the race was going to happen at 9 p.m.
Yeah.
I was a little frustrated by that, right? What are we going to do the rest of the day? Of course, seeing the Daytona 500 in person is not a bad deal, but you had some great ideas. Said, hey.
Well, you typically just panic, and so I figured that was what was happening. I didn't know who all was on the plane either, and you probably had plenty of ideas of things to do, but I remember all the little things we used to do when we used to go together, so just gave you a few ideas.
She did. We went to Total Wine and signed some High Rock vodka bottles and some electric orange. They had some electric orange
sip and cream,
from Sugarlands. So me and you are involved in the electric orange, but also we're a big part of ownership in the High Rock vodka brand. And they said those sold out pretty quickly. We tweeted out that we went over there, so that killed a little time. Then we went over to Bass Pro Shops directly across from the racetrack. It's noon.
I was just going to say, I don't remember the Bass Pro being there.
Yeah, it's like 10 or 11 o'clock. We're trying to kill a little bit of time before lunch. And we went into Bass Pro. It was slammed. The registers were about 30 people deep. Every aisle had people in it. And we went through Bass Pro looking around and took a few pictures. And then we got out of there.
Did you buy anything?
No, I don't think we did buy anything from there. We ended up going over to New Smyrna to this place,
Yellow Dog
Eats. Mm-hmm. Really cool place to eat if you're in Daytona in July or vacation at any point in the year. New Smyrna is a really cool town, and me and you spent some time there, and Yellow Dog Eats is a great place to get some food.
It's a fun little dive, and they have excellent food.
Yeah.
And the menu kind of changes up, so that's fun about it too, but the food's delicious.
I got a buffalo chicken wrap and loved it. And then we buy some of their barbecue sauce. I got some sauce for Kelly and LW to take home. But anyways, we had a good time. Then we went on over to the racetrack and buckled in for a long day. It was pretty easy getting into the racetrack and finding our parking spot. And speaking of parking spots, I wanted to tell a little story. And Amy, this is very helpful that you're here. So, I love doing things for you, and a lot of times it doesn't come naturally. But sometimes, you'll tell me, "Hey, can you do this for me?" And I'm like, "Yes, I would love to do that."
Direct orders is usually
direct. Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm out driving around. Maybe I'm picking up one of the girls from school or whatever, and Amy will say, I got to pick up at the grocery store. You mind going and grabbing it? And she'll put it in the Instacart, and you pull up into the parking lot, and there's two spots that are, got these big.
We're going to talk about this.
They got these big, they got these big signs that say reserved for pickup. All right, big green sign right in front of the parking spot. Now, they're premium parking spots. They're up front. And so you can pull in there, and you do a little dance on your phone, and they'll bring the groceries out to the car.
Yep.
And so this is kind of something that kind of started from the pandemic.
Exactly, but it's foolproof, and it's a fabulous option that they kept because of having kids and shopping is not fun.
Yeah. I like to go in the store and pick my own bag of grapes. That is the only conflict or downside I see to this is like, yes, they, if it's a boxed or a bagged item, it's all the same. Mm-hmm. But when you're getting something specific like grapes, You want to look at the grapes. Yeah.
I'm that lady. If I'm in the store shopping for the grapes, I'm poking all of the bags of the grapes. So I'm sorry. Your grapes are going to get touched by me, at least through the bag, because of this man's insane level of need for crunchy grapes.
Yeah.
If I bring home a bag of grapes and there's one squishy one, he's like, that bag was shit.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
It'll sit in there. It'll sit in the
And so I have extensive notes too in my Instacart. If someone else is shopping for us, it says, please don't buy anything but the crunchiest grapes.
Oh my gosh. They must hate us.
We have a repeat shopper, so I think that's why we've gotten good ones lately.
But when you're doing the Instacart, you're hoping you get the good bag of grapes. And I'm pulling into the parking lot, right? And so I'm driving by the front of the store, right? I'm right in that little spot, right in front of the store where the people are coming in and out. And I'm looking directly in front of me at the two spots. And there's an empty spot and a car in another spot. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to take that empty spot. But before I turn into that aisle to get into that spot, there's a lady in front of me trying to turn into the same aisle. And I'm like, by all means, go ahead. You turn in, find your spot. Well, she does a little U-V right into the empty spot, right? She's going to do a little Instacart. No problem. All right, I'm going to do some laps till one of these spots opens up, right? And so I'm driving around, but as I pass by these two spots that are now both occupied, their original vehicle, I notice, is empty. The person
did the unthinkable.
Yeah.
Did the unthinkable.
Shopping inside the store.
They went inside.
That's a big no-no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, and I've seen this has happened before. It's not a new thing, but it gets you every time, right? That spot is reserved, for dads, and
for dads.
Yeah, for dads and elderly people. I don't know,
people who love grapes,
people who want us to shop,
and that's it.
Right, dads on the go. So I'm like, damn it, and so I drive like 4 laps.
He's driving around the parking lot too in that rainbow truck, so he's very visible.
Mm-hmm. And I'm like, there's people in their cars on the backside of this parking lot that are like seeing me multiple times, and I'm like, yeah, me again,
still here,
coming back through, bud. And finally, I'm pulling up to the spots again, and I see this lady wheeling her little cart out there.
Was she elderly, by the way?
She was older than me. And so
I'm not gonna touch that.
I was like, you're the one. And so she gets in her car and drives away. And I tried to make eye contact with her. She wasn't having it.
She gave it a good old stare down.
I was not important. And so, anyways, all right, I'm gonna pull into this spot that's now empty. I pull in. The car that did the U-turn that gets into the spot originally that is empty. That lady too parked in that spot that I was going to pull into and has now walked into the store. She's in the store. Oh, man. And
at this point, he's calling me.
How upset is he on the phone?
This car.
He's high-pitched like this.
this lady, she's got a little stuffed animals across the dash.
Oh,
I'm
man.
like, come on. I'm like.
The nerve.
Yeah, the nerve. And so.
She, too, likes to pick out her own grapes.
Yeah.
What if they Instacarted the rest and they're just picking out the grapes in the store?
Well, you got to pick your shit up and you go park in another spot.
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
My thought on the remedy for this, and Amy may not like this, is the store needs to move these reserved spots to an undesirable position, right? The reason why the people are taking them is because they're up front and they're premium spots. Mm-hmm. So if I'm going to sit in my car and wait for groceries, I can sit in the back of push me out toward the back.
Make the employees walk.
Yeah, right. So that's not convenient for anyone anymore, right?
I don't know. I just think, if these spots are that critical, let's not have this happen. How do we remedy this? Right?
I feel like maybe they could do a curbside pickup. So some of the other grocery stores do it that way.
Yeah.
It's not in the parking lot. It's closer to the actual building.
Well, all of this is going on, and I call Amy, right? Okay, if you get all spun out, right, or you just need to vent, you just got to get some off your chest. You can't keep it to yourself.
Can't.
Can't.
Just can't.
Who do you call?
My fiance.
Yeah.
Yep.
Who do you call?
I'm single, so
He calls
I
me.
bottle it up.
Yeah.
This is a good thing to take notes on. You don't have to
You
call.
call a buddy?
You don't have to
No,
call.
You don't have to call.
Yeah.
I just listen to Nickelback and just scream.
Nickelback.
Well, I call Amy, and I'm like, man, you ain't gonna believe this, because I'm certain she can relate. She's done this. Certainly, this has happened to her. Surely.
Yeah, meanwhile, I'm at home dealing with whatever I'm dealing with, and he calls, and he's got nothing but complaints about how hard this is to pick up the groceries. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, all you got to do is just get in the spot and get your things. And now at this point, he has made so many laps through the parking lot in his rainbow truck that the girl who has his groceries ready, because they're tracking you, you know.
That's
so
even
they're
worse.
tracking him doing laps around the parking lot. And the lady comes out, and I hear her, she's like, oh my gosh, we thought Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s out here just doing laps waiting for his groceries.
He's gone crazy.
I'm like, I hang up immediately. I'm like, okay, now I've had enough.
Yeah.
Now the lady inside feels bad for him, so he's
man.
gotten his emotions out, and now he's going to get some pity too, and I'm out.
Amy said something along the lines of, if you got out more, this would happen to you more often,
Yeah.
like it does everybody else in the world.
You'd be a little bit more desensitized
Yes.
to this.
She's like, this is not unusual, and this happens to everybody all the time. Just happens to you every once in a while because you're insulated. So
Insulated.
yeah.
Self-insulated.
Yes. So anyhow, I don't know. I would love to hear from other people that have had the inside shopper park in the pickup spot.
I'm always really careful about those spots in general. I mean, even when I was pregnant and it said expecting mothers, I didn't park in that spot because I thought, I'm fine. Like, somebody else probably might need that.
Very expecting.
There's just no
Someone
manners.
who's really expecting.
Somebody who's really,
Water could
really
break in
in
the
need.
store.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they should be
Yeah.
shopping
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah. Well, man, don't be one of those people. Don't park in that spot and get out and go inside. Don't.
If I see that rainbow truck at the grocery store,
You're
I'm
whipping
gonna
in there,
I'm
aren't
gonna
you?
I'm gonna
Yeah.
just to annoy you.
Hopping in there.
I'm just gonna
Yeah.
One of these days, he's going to do the Tawanda from, was it Fried Green Tomatoes, and just ram the car. Have y'all
That's-
not? You're
who's
too
that?
young. You're too young for that movie, aren't you? Oh God. Fried Green
Yeah, you guys
Tomatoes.
saw
it. Yes.
Kathy Bates. She rams this car of these
Yes.
two young girls that pull into her parking
Yes.
spot, and she screams
Pushes
Tawanda the entire time. She goes back and forth and rams them like 6
My
times.
goodness. So, another quick debate before we move on to Daytona. My 50th year, or my 50th birthday coming up, right? Do you throw a party, or do you have experiences at 50?
You're asking us?
Anybody?
Well, you got to celebrate it somehow. Like, it's a milestone.
I think
birthday.
you got to blow it out, man.
No, man. What if you blew it out as much as you could have for your 40th?
And your 30th,
dude.
and all
And
through
your
your
30th.
20s.
And you're
Sounds like-
I don't know,
and
man.
you're 48.
We're down
and
a
you're
couple
49.
cylinders now. We need to save the rest.
It's funny because like I never celebrate my birthday, but something like that, I feel like you got to go big.
The 50th, dude. So I saw somebody, I won't name his name. He's a race car driver I raced with. And he's like, 50 bothered me. Because I was like, dude, I'm getting ready to turn 50. He's like, hang on, because it bothered me. And I'm like, I'm starting to feel it. Like, 50 is not a thing you want to get everybody in the room and celebrate. 50 is 50 is like a line where you go from one life to another. It's not this.
Are your feelings hurt for turning 50? Like it's hurting your feelings?
Yeah. Yeah. Sure. I'll say that. That's fair.
So you feel like once you turn 50, now you're officially
Dude,
over the hill,
Downhill.
old age.
when I was in my 20s, right, and I heard somebody say, I'm 45, I'm like, ooh,
yeah.
close to 50.
Yeah.
When I heard them say, yeah, I'm 58, I'm 53, I'm like, damn, you're beyond 50. Like, 50 is a number.
Yeah,
it's a big number,
Yeah, it's a big one.
right? And it's not something I'm super thrilled about, and I feel like that it's instead of locking down in one spot and having all these people come into a room and feel this obligation to entertain and host. At 50, I want to take Amy and have experiences. I want to, do something with with our kids. I want to have some moments that we'll look back on and go, what a damn cool year this was, right? We did X, Y, and Z. Mm-hmm. And we will not have the energy for a party.
What were the other parties then?
They were big.
If you said you exhausted them already.
All right. My 40th, my 30th was great. I mean, Ludacris was there. He just drove up just to come and sit
That's
and
badass.
chill.
That's awesome.
I was a big fan of Arturo Gotti, a boxer. He came. 3 Doors Down.
Oh.
There was a
It was before me. I was not there.
Yeah, there was a handful of folks that were really neat.
Yeah.
My 40th, we had 21 Pilots play. I would say confidently before they blew up.
Basically right before.
Right?
Yeah.
Like literally, I stumbled onto them somehow and was like, and Amy was, I don't remember, I think Amy and everybody was like, he'll love this. Let's get him to play.
Yep.
Not knowing that they were going to turn into this thing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's 10 years ago.
They came between shows.
Yeah.
We sent the plane and picked them up. And they were very happy to do it.
In the middle
cool.
of the summer, was that when was the big boat bash? Remember we had that big party on our boat with Danica and all them?
Oh,
when
yeah.
we were playing 21 Pilots. And I
Probably.
think it was like the first time a lot
I
of people
have
had
pictures on
heard
my
it.
phone from that day.
So we were out on the lake. It was probably right around before my birthday. And I was playing 21 Pilots on our boat. We had about 30 people on this boat by the middle of the day. Clint Boyer and Stenhouse and all them.
Casey was there.
It was great. And I'm playing 21 Pilots, and a lot of these people are hearing it for the first time. And man, it turned the party on, did it not? It was wild. And I think Amy was like, "This will be great. Let's get them." So we got them. They came. They played. They rocked it out. So there was one particular part of the show where they brought TJ Majors up on stage, and he had to lay on the piano.
He laid on his side on the piano.
Listening to it?
Like a little model.
like a
like he was a model being drawn. It was a weird deal, but it was freaking hilarious.
They incorporated him into the song too. It was awesome.
One of my favorite pictures from that night is all of us at the front of the crowd. We're in midair. Everybody in the photo
Just
Jumping?
is in
Yeah.
midair.
Wow.
We were having so much fun jumping to a particular song, and then somebody took a picture, and all of us are like 6 inches to a foot off the
That's
ground.
crazy.
Yeah, having the greatest time of our life. It was a big party, and everyone I knew was there, of course. And I don't think you can do that again.
No, I mean, I'm tired too. I really.
I'm still
Throwing
tired.
parties is hard.
We're still tired from that one. Yeah.
Trying to figure out how
10
to
years later.
do the next cool thing or who to invite and
Well, this
coordinating
year-
all of that. It's just a lot of work.
This
And
year we're
since
gonna
he
try to
told
do some
me
stuff.
it wasn't so important, I have shelved that. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
So
we
you-
might do something here at the shop with everybody. I mean, everyone wants, like you said, everyone wants to celebrate, and that's okay to do, but we don't have to do
We'll have a
what
beer
we've done
toast.
before.
There you
Yeah.
go. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
A little quick
Yeah.
beer
Sure.
toast.
People love
A
that.
little quick LO.
I can usually find an angle to convince someone to party. I don't know. That seems like a pretty tough. That's a high bar to meet for 50.
Yeah.
I think you
Yeah.
go with
It
the
is.
experience.
Like, what do we do next?
Yeah.
You
We're
know?
gonna go travel and see,
Yeah.
and we got a lot of time this year.
We've been working on our travel plans this
Yeah.
week.
So man, I'm gonna tell you too. Me and Amy went on this trip and we used an agent. She was awesome. It was really, really good, and I'd probably do the same thing again if we had that similar type of a trip. We went to Europe, but on this one, I'm buying all the tickets, and we together are booking the rooms and doing all that, putting some sweat equity into these.
It's a little nerve wracking,
Yeah.
that part. But so we use the agent. That was for my 40th. We went to France. And we're leaving. We get out of the front gate, and we both get an alert on our phone from American Airlines that our flight had been delayed. And we look at it. I'm like, it's the same time. I don't really understand what the delay is. Well, the date was different. They had just
wow.
bumped us till the next day, and we're like, that's not going to work. You know, like you can't connect and get to anywhere you want to get. Everything's already set up. So he is on the phone trying to coordinate all that. So he's good at this. They did the same thing with our connection when we actually got into our flight. They canceled our connection, so he's rerouting. I'm sleeping. He's rerouting everything on his app, and so he's good at it. Yeah. But I think that's what gave you the confidence to do this yourself.
Yeah. Well, all right, let's get on into it. The meat of the show here, talking about Daytona on Dirty Air. Today's Dirty Air segment is brought to you by Tire Pros. Whether you know a lot about cars or a little, the pros at Tire Pros are a go-to. From an oil change to an engine repair, they've got you covered. Visit your local Tire Pros today. I love Tire Pros. All those Tire Pros are local businesses. They're mom and pops. They're owned by people in our community. And Tire Pros is a big supporter of all of their stores and individuals that work in them, and it's really cool. We've been to a couple local ones around here, and hard-working people, man, blue-collar, and they know their stuff. So anyhow, let's get into it. The duels were interesting. Blaney had a massive hit.
Yeah.
Really. Whatever it was, 50-some Gs.
55.
This dude has taken some hits in his career. And he's smart about it. We see these drivers, and they talk about how hard this car hits, how hard it wrecks. Harvick's talked about this already as a broadcaster, that the next-gen car hits and crashes harder than anything he's ever drove. And Blaney, to his credit, got connected with the United Medical Center of Pittsburgh, and he's connected to a lot of great smart doctors, very self-aware, very smart about his health. So when I see him have these crashes, I'm very confident in his ability to understand how to take care of himself. But he has taken a lot of hard hits. Luckily, the race was pushed back a day to allow him to recover. And the hard hits are coming from shoves from a lot of the same people. Brad Keselowski is in a lot of these situations. Yeah. I love Brad, great friend of mine. But man, and I picked him to win the Daytona 500. Thought he was going to get it done, and I think that, I want that for him. But it seems like a lot of times, he's in these situations when these pushes go wrong. Not the case. That wasn't why he got wrecked out at the end of the Daytona 500. But when you see that 6 car, you just kind of got to watch. Are you not drawn to watch him because of the reoccurring events?
Do you think he's doing it because he's just trying to be aggressive, or do you think he's doing it like with any malicious intent?
Not intentional at all.
Yeah,
I think he's a hard racer, and a lot of times the pushes that happen are off. There's an offset. There's a reason why the car spins. It's a bad push, and you would think that Brad's smart enough to know how to not have that happen. But anyways, also one thing that I saw that I thought was funny before we get into the truck race, Cindric was in the broadcast booth. Did you see this guy?
Yeah.
So did you see this?
Yes.
You showed that
All right. Where is that? Show that picture.
Hold on.
He's in the broadcast booth looking like Blippy.
Look at this guy.
Yeah. Oh, my gosh.
That is not a very nice screenshot of Austin Cindric right there.
Yeah. You can blame NASCAR chasm.
Well, we showed that to our children, and they said the same thing.
Said what?
Blippy.
Really?
Isla said it. Yeah.
Of Cindric?
Yeah.
Just you didn't even show.
Oh no, we didn't have to. Nope.
Wow.
This is that the guy you want pushing you on the last lap?
Blippy? No.
Oh. All right. The truck race, record amount of cautions at Daytona. And I had a conversation with Corey LaJoie after the truck race about, his opinion on why the truck race was such a crash fest. And, he says the trucks are a handful. A lot of moving around, a lot of out of control in dirty air. The trucks will get loose in certain scenarios. The trucks will get tight in other scenarios. And a lot of these young guys have never been in these aerodynamic situations to have an understanding of what to expect. And even him, he would say sometimes he was surprised and caught off guard about what the truck would do when it was in a certain box, right? And so if you're in dirty air and you're trapped on the inside line and you got trucks moving by you, They're trying to spin you out, that air, and trying to pull that truck around. And apparently it's very pronounced in the trucks. So not only do we have very young, inexperienced drivers driving in that series, but we're also putting them in the most challenging situations that anyone in the whole NASCAR ecosystem will be in at Daytona during Speed Week. So how do you fix it? All right. There's a lot of things you could do. Certainly figuring out a way to get the trucks to where maybe they don't race as well together. I know why would you want to do that, right? Think about the ARCA series, right? There was a while where the ARCA cars run around the bottom in a line. No one could get a run. Nobody could try to pass, but they didn't hit. They couldn't get to each other. You could run in that direction with some changes that would make it difficult for them to push, difficult for them to race side by side. You'd have a much less exciting race in terms of action, but certainly would wreck less trucks. You can also do more to lock the truck into the racetrack, right? They already have quite a bit of drag and downforce, I imagine, but you could also always find ways to make them more stable. But with stability comes more risk-taking, more daring, stupid things happen, right? When you have an abundant amount of confidence in how much grip you have, you do crazier shit, right? And so maybe that's not the answer, is to make the trucks easier to drive. When the best races, in my opinion, at Daytona were when the cars had to handle. And so we would have to lift because our cars would either push into the wall or spin out. And so when you're lifting, you're losing distance to people that are handling and driving better. And there's some space that's created after a few laps of green flag racing. I don't know if you can accomplish that in the trucks, but I'd love to see it in any of the top three series. One of the big dominating storylines of the entire week was the charter news. NASCAR executives turned down invites to meetings with the teams. The NASCAR, the teams were like, hey, let's all come together. Let's get in the room. Come on, NASCAR. We're all going to meet together. NASCAR would rather meet with the teams individually. And if I'm NASCAR, I like that. So
more control, right?
Oh, yeah. So, okay, here's what I think's going on. All the teams, they're unified in the RTA, the Race Team Alliance. They all want to band together and appear that they're all like-minded and united. Yeah. And then you have a couple of the teams that are the spokesmen for the group, right? The truth is they're not all like-minded. Some teams maybe don't want to make things difficult on NASCAR. Some teams in the back end of this RTA may be like, you know what, I'm good with this deal.
Right.
If there wasn't a bunch of these guys pushing back trying to get a better deal, I'd probably take this deal. So that's why I think NASCAR wants to meet with them individually. So it's more like trying to go to each individual team and steer everything closer to an agreement. NASCAR probably feels it's easier to make that happen talking to them one at a time as opposed to all getting in the room and just shouting from side to side. So, the antitrust lawyer deal makes things a little more feel a little aggressive. That it's getting a little more competitive or confrontational, maybe.
Antitrust lawyer?
Yeah.
It's the same one that ended up finalizing the deal for the NCAA NIL stuff.
Yeah, and he's done a few other things. This dude's really successful. When whoever he is representing, that's an advantage. That the thing is, and I want to talk to Ray Abraham about this tomorrow. What are the teams really gonna be able to do? Are they really serious about not showing up to the Daytona 500 next year or something similar to that? Are they really gonna go that far?
No.
Yeah, I don't feel that way either. I would.
They're just hoping that they can have some leverage and come to something. But
I think that it may take something that big for the teams to get what they want. They're going to have to do something like that, but I don't know that they will or they really can or would.
Isn't it kind of like, remember when drivers this is way back, they were going to boycott Talladega.
Yes.
Other drivers just filled their place.
Yeah.
Like, I feel
They
like
did. Yes.
this is one of those situations.
I think so too. I think that NASCAR, will figure it out and let the teams, the teams can posture all they want. And I just think NASCAR will probably meet them somewhere, maybe not in the middle. But I think NASCAR is like, hey, we're willing to do a few things, but not everything you want. And it's not just this, chunk of money that the teams will be getting from the TV deal. There's the they want to make these charters lifetime. So like if you're the owner of a charter right now, you only have it till the agreement runs out, and then the charter, if NASCAR thinks they're obsolete, could just go away. And here's where the disconnect, I think, lies. The charter, in some people's opinion, and mostly maybe the people in NASCAR inside that building, they look at the charter as only really a guarantee that you're going to get a spot in the field. The teams have now tried to evolve this charter into a franchise. And those are two different things in some people's eyes.
Right.
The charter in some people's eyes was not intended to be a franchise, right? But the teams are like, hey, we're really finding value in the fact that we have this charter, and now it pretty much is a franchise to the teams. But to NASCAR, it's like, hey, this was really only your free ticket to have a spot in the race. This is not a franchise like a, man, you can take this, like a football team or soccer team that can, own this and move it all around the country.
I hate to interrupt, but we have the Daytona 500 winner here.
Yeah. Probably best that he's here because I was likely going to talk myself into some trouble there talking about that. All right, so Daytona 500 winner William Byron is on the line calling in. William, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hey, buddy, where you at?
I'm in New York making the rounds.
I love it. All right, hey, you got me and my wife Amy and everybody else here at the Dale Jr. Download.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thanks, Amy.
Man, so I got to ask you a question. What was the moment like? I was standing there watching this happen. What was the moment like waiting on the call as you've got the caution, you might have an opinion, you're sure you won, I don't know. You're waiting on the team to tell you, right? That must have felt like an hour, but it was just a few moments, right? What was that like, waiting on the information?
Yeah, honestly, I mean, I knew we had crossed the line, so I was sure of that, like that we had taken the white, because they have the big lights on the start finish line now. Yep. And then there was the caution lights were, I guess, like towards turn one.
Yep.
And Alex had a huge run, like he was going to clear me because all the energy got broken up behind me. So I felt like, man, it's just a matter of when they called it, because he passed me relatively quick right after the caution. Yeah. So I was nervous. I wasn't going to get excited, or I was just super anxious. And my team, Rudy didn't really say anything, and everyone was just super quiet, just waiting. And I didn't want to key up the radio and talk over somebody. So I was just like, I was just going to wait till somebody said something. So it took like a lap and a half, and, Alex was rubbing my door down the front stretch. So I felt like he must know something, but it was just cool, man. It was crazy. When they come over the radio and tell you, did you for a second think, are you sure? I did. Well, no one said anything. Rudy was just crying. He was like Tony on the box that year with Kurt Busch. he was just in tears. So I didn't know what that meant. I didn't know if he was upset that we lost.
Right.
So I was like, tell me what that means.
So you're in New York. Did they do the Daytona USA thing with the car?
So they didn't this year. I think they took it post race.
Yep.
So yeah, they took the car, but I didn't go there for the breakfast. But I think we're gonna do something in a week or something.
Yeah.
Like that.
So when the Daytona 500 winner, wins the race, right? The next morning you'll get up and you'll go into the Daytona USA. They'll have a breakfast, and then they'll have the car, sort of a ceremony of the car going into. So your car that you won the Daytona 500 with, that car is now stuck in the Daytona USA for the rest of the year. Correct?
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. Yeah, it's stuck there.
It's awesome, but at the same time, you're like, hey, that's a good car. I would like to race
We're
that car.
down 2 cars.
Yeah, can I borrow that? Can I take that car to Talladega?
Yeah. We that was our backup car, so now we're down 2 cars.
Oh, that's right.
So so you went to New York. I'm sure, what's the plan this week?
I mean, I don't know, man. It's probably drink some beer tonight or tomorrow, and then have plenty of those, and then somehow get ready for Atlanta.
Do you is all of your Daytona 500 media this week? You got some more next week?
It's mostly this week. I'd say it goes through Thursday, and then some sports shows and some things, and then all the other strands of it. I mean, like Chevrolet and going up there. I'm sure it'll last for 2-3 weeks. So
awesome.
It's pretty cool. I never really understood the magnitude of everything that comes with the 500 until kind of seen it.
So it's a big responsibility, William. I got to tell you, man, and I know maybe you are aware of this. We had this next Netflix show, right? The Netflix show. You were a big part of it. It was a big deal. I'm sure you felt the momentum that's created. Then you go into the Daytona 500 and you win our biggest race in front of a lot of this new audience, right? And now you'll take that a step further and do tons of media in some big moments and some great shows that a lot of times NASCAR doesn't, you'll go into some spaces for us that we typically don't spend a lot of time in. So you individually right now are carrying the torch for the sport over the next handful of days. All these interviews and all the media you're going to do is going to be. I'm not trying to put any pressure on you.
Yeah, you are. God dang.
No pressure.
Enjoy this. Enjoy the media. Like I always hated doing media, but when I won Daytona the second time, I was like, man, I'm really going to take this in and enjoy it. But you're in a very unique position for us, buddy.
Yeah, I think I'm starting to. It's unique for me. I'm a really quiet person, so I feel like for me, I'm starting to come out of my shell publicly, and the Netflix show is a big step forward with that because you never know how things are going to come across, and I felt like they really portrayed what I'm passionate about and how I prepare, and so I was proud of that. I felt like they showed everyone in a good way. So I'm just excited to kind of share more and be a little bit more active on social and just kind of open up a little bit.
Yeah, I thought it was very bold to show them your training, mental training, getting ready for your races by building Legos. I want the Titanic. How big is the Titanic? I'm a big Titanic fan.
Yeah,
I built a Titanic model way back in the day.
It's a great display piece. I think it's about 4 feet long.
Whoa,
and,
it's perfect.
Yeah.
I love it.
It's only a foot. Yeah, it's only like a foot and a half tall, but it's an awesome display piece. I keep it.
It looks smaller than that on the show.
Yeah. I'll have to send out a picture or something.
Yeah.
It's cool, man.
That's big.
It has so much detail. Yeah, they have all the rooms inside, and you can take it apart and open it up.
I want that.
It's
Amy.
cool.
William, no.
Yes, I want to build the
Dale
Titanic.
can come
It'll only
visit
take
and
you
play
about
with
a month.
yours.
I want to build the Titanic logo.
He'll bring beer this week, and you guys can play with your Legos.
It
love
definitely isolates you for a little bit.
Yeah, I would compare it to build. I don't do this a lot, but I do like to build puzzles, and I think it's kind of similar in like
Yeah, it's a 3D puzzle.
Working your mind.
We did that one little Lego thing together.
Yeah.
We still haven't finished it.
We did. Me and Amy did one. It was fun. It's great.
That's
Want to do
awesome.
the Titanic with me, Amy?
No, I don't.
Come on.
I don't want to house the Titanic with you.
William,
Group project.
can you send me a link to the Titanic Lego set?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
William.
Absolutely.
William.
So you're locked in.
It comes in parts. So it took me about 3 weeks to build.
Oh my gosh. I'm in. I'm doing it. We're gonna build it. We're setting it. We're putting it in the studio. William, you're locked into the playoffs. So that's one thing that you really don't recognize immediately because the Daytona 500 is such a big damn race. But after a little while, you go, oh, you know what? No stress now.
We're going to have some fun all summer.
Hell yeah.
It's we're in New York, so there's
A lot of honking carrying on.
but yeah, I mean, it's a big stress relief. I feel like we're getting spoiled because typically with Rudy, we've won early in the season, so we that's going to be a dangerous trend to hopefully keep going.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, man, I know you're busy today, and we are excited about you representing the sport so well for us over the next several days, doing all this media for the Daytona 500. Congratulations, you're now Daytona 500 champion, and I'll be seeing you at all of the Daytona 500 champion get-togethers. There's a lot of things that they do where they bring us all together, and I look forward to seeing you at all those, man. Enjoy that trophy.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that trophy's a special one to have in the house. Enjoy that, and have a great year. We'll see you on the road somewhere.
Yeah, thank you guys.
All
Good
right,
to
buddy.
see y'all.
You
Bye.
too.
See y'all.
I can't wait to plop that Titanic set
Yes.
right here on the
Man.
desk.
It took William, who is a very dedicated, structured individual, 3 weeks to put that together.
Yeah, I
It'll
can
take
do it.
you 3 years.
I can do it. It sounds bigger. It sounds like a bigger project than I thought. But
Sounds
Yeah.
like Amy's all for it too.
yeah.
On your table, sure.
There's a lot of pride that goes into William winning the Daytona 500 for us. I was sitting, so I watched the Daytona 500 in the suite upstairs in the France family suite, and it was awesome to have the opportunity. We were gonna go and watch the Xfinity race, right? And it gets bumped to 9 p.m. So we said, okay, well, we're gonna get to watch the Daytona 500 because I was gonna leave and go home after the Xfinity race. So I called some people and we got up in the France suite and sitting there, Josh Berry, just driving the 4-car, leads a lap, and that was a big deal to me. He is 100% a junior motorsports project, right? He's or development, right? And this kid from Hendersonville, Tennessee, has just led a lap in the Daytona 500. I couldn't believe it. And then William wins the race, and of course he's raced in our late model stock cars with Josh. Josh mentored him to an extent during that little stint. He raced here and won a championship for us in the Xfinity Series. So we feel like we had some involvement in the driver he is today. So that was special. I was hesitant and didn't go into victory lane to say hey to William, but thought about going in there. We were getting ready to run our Xfinity race, but it was a madhouse, and I knew it was really tough to get in there to him. But William just texted me the link
Great.
Oh boy,
to the
it
Titanic.
just started.
Yeah.
How much is it?
Oh, let's look. Here it is. Let's look at. He said he got his off eBay, but it's worth it. Oh man, this must be expensive.
It's going to be expensive.
You can buy it
He gets
for
commission.
$440 on Walmart.
Oh my.
Is it in stock?
Oh man, this thing's going
I don't
crazy.
know.
We bought some smaller ones as gifts, and they were $100. So that Titanic thing has to be expensive.
Oh, this is a smaller version
This
of
thing
this. We don't
is
want that.
$670.
Yeah.
My goodness. Well, all right.
There's your 50th birthday present.
Yeah.
Yes,
Happy
that's
birthday,
it.
Dale.
It's not a.
That's
it's not
very
a big.
50. That's like a very 50-year-old thing to do. Is sit and put a giant 3D puzzle of the Titanic
Yes.
together.
Talk
Yeah.
about a new experience.
William.
Yeah.
William is wise beyond his years.
Yeah.
Then.
He is.
William's like a 50-year-old mind.
Yeah.
So we'll get into the Daytona 500. Thank you, William, for calling in and
That was awesome.
Yeah, stopping my. Yeah,
Rambling.
we needed to quit rambling on the charter news. About
I have questions about that, by the way, but I'll ask you when you get home.
what?
The charters.
Okay, Daytona 500. Really cool comments about NASCAR from The Rock. Guy did a good job.
It was awesome.
He did.
Yeah.
Fabulous job.
Yeah, he can't. You get a big celebrity like that. Look, we're really lucky. I compare the people we bring to our events to other events are we matching? Are we meeting it? What's happening at the Super Bowl and so forth? Are we in that? Are we comparable? The Rock's right in that range, right, of some mega celebrity, right? You want to have somebody. He's a great promoter, right? He can shoot the promos on WWE with the best of them. Got some awesome stuff on YouTube to watch. So he knows how to make it sound great. He came in and did a good job. Another thing that I thought was cool is that he stayed.
Yes, I was going to say that.
A lot of people, man, they can leave. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to stay. Sorry, I got things to do. But he stayed. I heard that they put him up in Daytona 1, that little resort across the street from
One Daytona.
the track. One Daytona, sorry. They put him up in this little thing, and they emptied out the suite next to him so he could bring all his workout gear. And they had a little gym.
Oh, my God.
He went to bed and woke up at midnight to do a middle-of-the-night workout.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what makes him the Rock, I guess.
Commitment.
It's insane.
Yeah.
Wow. Who's doing that?
Him.
The
That's
Rock.
it.
Only him. So, anyways, that was cool.
And props to whoever accommodated him to made it super easy and gave him no excuse to not stay. I like
Yeah.
that.
Right.
That was
We-
great.
Yeah, we talked about the bump drafting and the pushes. There was a big crash early in the race. A little bit of blocking, a little bit of pushing, and ended up. Brad sort of took some of the Brad was a lot of the responsibility for that was dumped on Brad.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll tell you this, man, like he's been in these scenarios before. That affects you, I think, mentally. Brad, I called Brad to win the race. But when that happens early in the race, it makes you a little, timid. You don't want to have that happen again.
So he's waiting for it, you think, in some part of his mind for that to happen again?
No, I think he's just maybe not as aggressive. Dials it back a little bit.
Man, he was making some big moves
He
late
was,
in the race,
yeah.
though.
Oh, yeah. I think you get over that timidness or that lack of aggression.
How long? Like half the race?
Probably
takes?
stage 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was like, man, I need to be cool. Let's not
Right.
cause another crash.
Yep.
Do you think that happened to the whole field? Because, I mean, like an early crash, it seems like whenever that happens in a 500, you seem to get a little bit of calm.
Yeah.
And we saw that. We saw pretty clean racing up until the end. Like,
Well,
did that scare the rest of the
That
field?
first wreck was very nostalgic looking to me. Looked like a traditional Daytona 500 style crash.
Mm-hmm.
And then the race went into this 2x2
Yeah.
nonsense.
Fuel saving, all that. Like
Yeah.
just side by
So
side.
the entire field for like 40 laps in stage 1 ran 2x2. And it was, it was like if you said to, AI, hey, show me the Daytona 500.
That's
That
what
would
they
be
do.
what it looked like.
Yeah.
So that was kind of disappointing. I know they're saving fuel. How do you get the fuel saving out of the race? You can't entirely. You just don't know when yellows are going to fall. Yellows are going to fall and present fuel mileage opportunities. There's a starting point, right? And one thing that I thought about while I was sitting there watching the race was, so to take fuel mileage out of the equation, you need to have the stages short enough so that they can run the entire stage on one tank. Okay? That's one way of doing it. I don't like that, but it would create these little 50-lap sprints, right? So you could do it like that. 50 laps, they're going to have to stop in the middle of that stage, but if you split the stage in half, then you don't have guys really doing the fuel mileage game anymore. When it's a fuel mileage game is when our stages, the fuel mileage runs right up near the bottom of the stage or the length of the stage. And so we have to figure out a way to either allow them to, the stage needs to be nearly 2 tanks of gas. Okay? So they're going to run a tank out and then fill up and almost, and complete the rest of the stage and come
Right.
across the finish line with like a gallon or 2 gallons of fuel.
Yeah.
Right? Then they're probably not needing to save, right? And so the other thing is you make the stage so damn short that it's like 30 laps, which is probably not going to happen. One of the things that I think would be cool is to add another stage to the Daytona 500, but one stage caution at lap 100. So think about it like this. you're awarded points every 50 laps.
Like like how they did road courses last year.
But there is a halfway caution at 100. I think that might be a balance between what some fans want and what other fans want. All right, and it might take some of the fuel mileage out where guys can race hard, and you're giving them more opportunities to get points during the race, which they do race hard for.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Every time we get toward the end of the stage, the points are available for the top 10. The racing gets good, right? Let's have that happen more often.
Yeah.
One of the things that so I'm watching Josh Berry race, looking at what he's doing and hoping he's having a great day. He gets spun out by John Hunter Nemechek on pit road. Did y'all see that?
Yeah, that was a
so
weird little. Yeah.
So they come down pit road. It hurt them both. Really stupid, to be honest with you. John Hunter Nemechek's in a stall that was past Josh, and they come down pit road. John Hunter's stall is really literally at the start-finish line, halfway down pit road. But he's way far left, which is where somebody that was pitting early would be. Right? So anybody in front of him has to cross his nose to get to their stall. And so, here comes Josh trying to get into his stall. All John had to do was back off a half a car length to let him through, and then he could have went on to his stall. But both of them, they get tangled up. Josh gets spun around, and John Hunter and Barry lose the draft until the next yellow. That was a little frustrating because then Josh lost the lap, never regained it for the rest of the race. They had the big one.
The huge one.
Yeah, big.
It's almost
yeah.
everyone.
A lot of in-car camera and cockpit and driver shots afterwards with replays. NASCAR's doing a great job. This next-gen car gives us so many opportunities, so many camera angles, and that is just going to continue to ramp up. Think about this, man. In the new TV deal, possibly camera in every single car, opportunity for you to look and view the race from every single vehicle in the field. That's the angle. That's the goal. Now, is that attainable? We'll see. Chase Elliott did a great job all day long. Talked about him having sort of a resurgence this year. He won a stage.
Won the first stage.
First stage. Yeah, so he wins a stage, and I'm like, all right, man, setting the tone for a comeback. Let's talk about the finish. William Byron, Chastain had a drag race for a few laps. Cindric and Chastain. Blimpy and Chastain. So I'm watching that, right? Down the short chute, coming to the start-finish line, the white flag. Cindric is up the racetrack slightly. There's who's that trying to get underneath him?
Corey LaJoie.
But Cindric's cutting him off, right, and almost spun himself out across the nose of Corey's car. When the 22 tries to get down in front of Corey, there's a big enough hole for the one. Chastain takes a run through the middle, and then the 2 drives back up the racetrack. I don't know if he's getting steered by the 7 of LaJoie or not, but Blippy was a little out of control coming to the white.
We just gave him a nickname.
It's going to stick.
Yeah. And
he's going to be really excited.
Oh, I'm sure.
What
Christopher
happened?
Badass.
Yeah.
Blippy.
Chastain made clear and win the race.
Yep.
It seemed like there was a lot of room still to go for him to successfully clear.
Yeah.
You're talking about that dive bomb move right at the start finish
To the
line.
middle, yeah.
Yeah.
If the 2,
It's like half a car
if the 2 of Cindric doesn't come up the racetrack and they wreck, I think the 1 clears. He had a heck of a run.
Caught everybody by surprise too. That was a good spot to do it. I felt
Yeah.
like because I wasn't expecting anyone to make that move right there.
The big confusion is, obviously I think we were all pretty sure that the caution did not come out. They crossed the finish line and took the white. The race is over. I think we all agree that we knew the race was over.
Yeah.
But who was leading?
Right.
So when the lights come on, I think the 48 car is in front. And I have so much history in this sport, and it seems like over that 25-year period, the determination of who the leader was in a moment like that has changed. There was times when it was the light.
Yeah, you're
the
right.
light came on. That's when it was. And now, it's the last loop.
Right.
So it's, what is it now, right? I think it's the last loop.
Well, it's according to the NASCAR rulebook, they use a couple of determining factors. So it's
Is it
video
literally that-
evidence, last timing loop, but NASCAR posted
It's that photo.
a photo,
Yeah.
which is the one that they use to
So-
determine, and you can actually, there is a caution light on in the corner, and Byron's ahead.
Okay. So when the caution light comes on, Byron's like a couple inches out.
As far as we know.
Yeah.
All right. I'm all good with this. I know it doesn't sound like it. That's fair. You show me a picture, show me the light, all that. So when the light comes on, is the determining factor?
I don't think so necessarily because there's a slight delay, right?
Until next time,
at least from
when
what
they're
I've
going to use the
heard.
scoring loop.
I've heard it's
Because
NASCAR's
NASCAR freezes the field.
Right.
It's NASCAR's discretion of when the guy or the girl pushes the button.
Yes.
That's what I
So you
So
just
it's the
said it.
button,
It's
not the
NASCAR's
light.
discretion.
Yeah.
That's what Dale does not like.
That is what I don't like.
Yeah.
Inconsistent.
It needs to be an obvious rule.
We went to the Daytona 500 and sat there to see it determined by the mash of a button. A simple fucking button.
Yeah.
Man, is that not heavy?
I know.
That's heavy.
That seems wrong.
I don't know. Is it? I don't know. I mean, what other scenarios in sports rely on that button?
Rely on human error of someone not involved,
Yeah.
right? in
I
the
mean,
sport.
there's a clock.
Mm-hmm.
There's all kinds of physical moments where a person, a referee calls a timeout or throws a flag or whatever. That's similar to mashing a button, right? There's someone that's...
Yeah, I mean, judgment calls are in every
Yes.
sport.
Yeah.
This is one of those official judgment
Yeah.
calls.
Would you want to be the person that smashed the button?
Hell no.
I don't see. Here's the thing. I don't
No,
even think
I
that's
would.
crossing my
Huh?
mind in the moment.
I would.
You'd be fine
I
with
like
that.
I like that power.
You'd be like,
It's-
hey,
I mean,
hey, William Byron, you are the
I-
Daytona
I
500
would-
champion.
right now.
I would add a quick.
Don't you
trigger
think
finger.
sometimes you'd get distracted
I think it's
watching?
so
and
reactionary.
forget
that
to
would
just,
also
like,
happen too.
I'd be
but-
into it. Yeah.
What?
I think it's so reactionary. They're not even. I mean, they're focused on the 2 car. They're not even looking at the lead. I feel.
Sure.
Again, I'm speaking
Of
for
course
them.
they're not. No, I don't. I know they're not going, oh, I want Byron there, buddy.
Yeah.
I know they're not doing that. I'm just saying, like, when you get up from the table, right, day is done, do you go sit down and go, damn, I just
Influenced.
determined
Yeah.
the winner
Yeah.
of the Daytona 500?
I don't think there's any way to avoid it, but
Yeah.
like you said, something just feels off about it.
I could, if I had, hit that button just a couple seconds later,
Could change history.
the 48's leading.
Yeah.
And Bowman's in that 500 champion. Bowman's in New York calling in.
I'll tell you, when you were racing, I always absolutely despised a caution win. I don't care what the scenario was.
Yeah.
I felt like it was complete bullshit. Like
I hear
I want
you.
a couple more laps.
All my buddies on my phone were texting me, boo, bullshit, I don't like this.
Yeah.
That ending sucked. I'm
Yeah.
like, hey, Dale Earnhardt won his Daytona 500 coming to a yellow and a white flag.
Still bullshit. We need a couple more laps.
Dude, Daddy might not have won.
Yeah, he would.
Bobby Labonte
It was his
Bobby
time.
Labonte was coming.
What's the solution in your mind? Like, should they have let them race it out a little bit more, or like what do you think?
I don't
the
have-
fix is.
There's nothing to fix.
It's just doesn't sit right with you.
There's nothing to fix. I'm not saying that I don't. I think, we got to change this. This can't happen.
Right.
Dude, this is part of the product. I don't know.
This feels a lot more like we're circling back to that parking lot thing with Instacart, where you just were like venting, but there's really no solution.
There ain't no solution. I just wanted to bring to the table, I don't know if everybody's thought about how somebody mashed a button. And that played a major role in how we all accepted the result, right?
Yeah.
That would be on my dating profile if that was my job. That's a big flex, I feel like.
Yes, I like it. All right.
You're going to attract top tier.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's top
With that.
tier level.
William
people
Byron
right
owes
there.
me a brand new Titanic Lego set
Yeah,
for winning
exactly.
him the 500.
Now, listen,
you know?
the rational person would say it's bigger than that. It's not the button alone is not, but it's a factor. To your point, there's pictures, videos. They have technology and things that they can see that we don't see, that we don't get to see. They have so many angles. They're not just taking broadcast footage and making these decisions. They have their own photographers and video that are not public consumption. right? To be able to see all angles of everything, such as a finish like that, or a crash, or any kind of a judgment call. So pretty good technology that we're not even privy to. I feel pretty confident. I'm not disputing the result. I just think it's so interesting how in that scenario we take all of those factors to determine that William is the winner. And man, if it just one person does something slightly different or something slightly different happens,
different result.
Bowman is the winner, right? Shoo. I guess if you're William, you're completely fine. But if you're Bowman, are you thinking like?
Are you thinking about that?
Thinking about that, right? Does that eat at you a little bit?
Would you be thinking about that if you were Bowman?
I'll say this. The two races at Talladega, the Logano win, where we got a caution coming into turn one, Harvick and those guys wrecked at the start-finish line, and I'm passing the 22, and they said he was ahead when the light came on.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That, I never got over that.
Because you would have advanced to the next round of the playoffs.
I don't care what, I don't even know. I just wanted to win.
Right, yeah.
I not over that. Probably not okay with that. Not happy with that. Still feel like, hey, I had your ass. I was going to win that race. Losing to Jeff Gordon when they threw the cans at his car. I'm passing him. The 25 wrecks, and they determine that Jeff's leading when the 25 begins to crash. So that's the moment of the yellow, right? And it just those are tough to accept when you're on the losing end of it. So if I'm Bowman, yes, this is bothering me. I'm happy for my teammate. I'm a company guy. I'm not going to say anything publicly. I'm not going to do anything stupid and go out and publicly disparage this result because my teammate won, and I love my job. But personally and inside, I'm certain that he's having to stop himself from like running it back over and over in his mind. Like what could I have done differently? Well, what if this would happen? What if this person would have done this? And so, but you're not changing the result, just like I can't change the results of my events in my career. But it doesn't mean you have to. You're never going to be like okay with it or accepting of it.
Second seems like a miserable place to live, especially in that situation.
Yeah, for sure. NASCAR did a great job providing a lot of information to the fans on social media and so forth to determine how the decisions they made. I thought that was great. The one thing is I love NASCAR. And if you come at NASCAR, you're effing with me, right? And so while I do get critical of them from time to time, I want the sport to succeed and I want them to win, and I believe in our leaders, right? So I love when I see them provide some background and information in these situations where, had they not, the simmering sort of criticism just boils underneath the surface online. It gets really annoying.
Right.
So good job in NASCAR to handle that as soon as they possibly could. And it was the first win for Hendrick Motorsports since my win in 2014. 10 years of trying, and they finally got it done. So congratulations to Hendrick Motorsports, Rick and everybody. I texted Rick after the race. All those folks were still up at 1 o'clock in the morning, which is great. And then we got to see an Xfinity race.
What time did you get home from that, by the way?
2 o'clock. Crawled into bed at 2 o'clock.
Quiet mouse. I didn't hear you at all.
I thought, when I crawled in bed, you raised your arm, pulling your cover toward you.
Not in my real life. That was
Not in your dream. Yeah. I don't want to turn this damn podcast toward the worst, but if you want to talk about this Xfinity race, that's where it's going.
Oh, Lord.
All right. I drove around this morning making a few phone calls just to vent, to calm the freak down because I was so pissed off with the result for us. Just not a great race for Junior Motorsports. A lot of frustration and disappointment about our performance and choices on the racetrack. we were a non-factor. We had 4 fast race cars, and no one got to see that, potential. Each team had different challenges and problems, some self-induced. I will say the one thing that I did see that I did like, that I was very happy about, was Sammy Smith. So I spent the majority of the race on his radio and on his box. And Sammy, young guy, look, I could tell he's not 100% sure exactly what he needs to be doing out there. They were sitting there. He's running 6th in line on the first stage. Great spot to be. Everybody's in line. If you pull out to go low, you're going to the back. Absolutely. No question. And he's sitting there going, I'm getting some good runs. Should I go? And the spotter was like, no, shut up. He literally said, no, shut up. Calm down. You're in 6th. I was like, yes, tell him.
Poor kid's just excited and eager.
He's like, I'm getting some good runs. Should I go? And they're like, no, dummy.
Yeah.
So right from the get-go, it sets the tone that, okay, this guy he's inexperienced. He doesn't know everything he needs to know. That's fine. We had a late restart, and he's 3rd or 4th in line on the outside. Green flag comes out, right? They're all just going through the gears. No one has a run. There's going to be a little bit of a lap or so getting up to speed before runs develop. Well, Sammy pulls out into the 3rd lane, going into turn 1 with no run, no momentum, just pulls out. And he's like, oh, man, my bad. And he gets shipped to the rear. And we're all up there shaking our heads. But, he didn't know, right? And it's okay. The one thing that I loved was every time he did this, he drove back to the front. Every time that he made a mistake that lost him several spots, he quickly would hustle back toward the front into the top 5. Once he learns, I'm going to give this guy about 4 or 5 more restrictor plate races. And if he can continue to be that person that can find his way forward or always be trying to move forward, he'll clean up the little mistakes as he learns what you can and can't and shouldn't do, and he'll be a hell of a restrictor plate racer. I promise you. So I like some things that I saw out of Sammy. The rest of it, for me personally, was a bit of a disappointment. Well, not even a bit. It was a disappointment. We had terrible, the results weren't good. We weren't a factor, and we didn't put ourselves in real good situations. I could go on and on about that, but we had a question last week. We actually were going through some of my old Twitter stuff. This will be a good one for you to chime in, Amy.
Oh, Twitter.
Yeah. We're going through some old tweets. Mm-hmm. And one of the old tweets was, would you sacrifice a toe for a championship? And I said no, and I still say no today. This was in 2014, and today I still say no. Andrew, you went to Daytona. You worked your ass off.
Yeah.
Dude,
I enjoy it.
You really do enjoy it? You enjoy working that hard?
I absolutely love it.
I was like,
love
man, I don't want to work that hard.
I saw your interview with Jimmy Johnson. You go halvesies on a date?
No. I was more so just to
spur him along.
Get his reaction. Don't know. She pays for everything. It's fine.
Oh, that's
right. So you,
but yeah,
you asked Jimmy.
Yeah, we were running around. Not only did I ask Jimmy, I asked a few other drivers. I asked fans. I got a lot of reactions.
I need to hear it.
We've got Jimmy's clip. Tim's, I think we've got it queued up here. A fan asked Dale, "Would you give up a toe to win a championship?" And he brought you up. You've got 7 of them. Do you got all your toes still?
I do, and I'd give one up for 8.
Really?
Oh, without a doubt. To be standalone at 8 and just cost me 1 digit, no problem. Man, just to have a few toes left would be tough. I would give 1 up for 1 more. I wouldn't give up 7 and then an 8.
Which toe would you give up? Which is like the least important?
I feel like my pinky toe isn't doing much hanging over.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, it's just on the side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
So isn't your pinky toe responsible for you not tipping over? Y'all
yes,
are so
very
wrong
important.
there.
I think
Pinky toe is the popular answer.
I think the big
across
toe and the
garage.
pinky toe are actually very important.
Yeah.
And it's the ones in the middle that could
They're
go.
like the rings.
Maybe the
I
ones
don't
right
know.
next to your pinky.
I ripped
That
a
guy.
toenail off with the second one from the big toe, and was limping around for like a week.
Ooh.
Like,
Really?
it hurt that bad. Yeah, it's very important.
I never thought I would have to ask Jimmy Johnson to confirm that he has all 10 toes, but he does. So.
Let me guess. All the drivers said that they would give up a toe.
No.
Who said no?
Larson said he could do it himself. Like he was confident in his own abilities. Reddick said he would need a toe for 5 championships. I feel like that's asking a lot, but
Okay.
Yeah.
I would, if you gave me 2 championships, I'd lose a toe.
okay.
I
But
might
just-
need you to keep your toes.
Just one? Nah.
2 championships.
2, I'd give you a toe.
I like
All right.
Jimmy's answer. I mean, being a standalone at 8
Yeah.
makes sense. Otherwise, like you said, your life's pretty damn good
I
with
know.
that one. So, I mean, what
but
are
if
we
I had
chopping
2,
toes off for?
2 would put me in an elite category, multi-time champion. I'd give
Sure.
I'd give it a toe.
All right. There was the answer. Fuck it.
I love that term.
I mean, I'd be over it. You know, I'd miss the toe for a few minutes, and then I'd be over it.
He just called a vent to you about it when he
I'd
missed
get-
it emotionally.
I'd be like,
Whenever it
yeah,
came up.
After a while, I'd be like, yeah, I forgot about it. I forgot I lost that toe.
Yeah. Oh, that old thing?
But these championship trophies, they're very.
What do you think it looks like when you don't have a toe? Mind you, that you chose this when you put your socks on and you've got this little weird divot.
Yeah,
And
you would have to.
You'd be reminded of it
You would
every
be,
single
yeah.
day.
When you went to Key West and your flops all day, you would be feeling like a freak.
Yeah, no
Right.
more flops for you.
Freak with 2 championships.
Yeah, you'd have to wear your rings,
yeah.
Speaking of
Balance
rings,
it out.
Supplement
Yeah.
to supplement it.
distract them from your feet.
I saw online yesterday that the NFL championship ring opens up, and inside of it is an inverted. It's a carving of a football field.
Damn.
Wow.
Is there anything that cool in the NASCAR championship ring? Like there should be a racetrack
I
inside.
think we're
Yeah.
behind on the
Yeah.
rings.
We are.
Yeah.
When I was a freshman in high school, I did a
Class ring.
Bristol, and I did a Bristol
Like
Motor
paper mache.
Speedway at a pottery.
Oh, was it clay?
Clay. They were like, "Hey, man, we're making cups or bowls."
He's like, nah.
I'm like, "Nah, I'm making Bristol, baby."
Love it.
He still has
I
it.
still had it.
That's cool.
I made that freshman in high school. This week's segment was brought to you by Tire Pros. There are a few people who love cars as much as I do, but these tire and service experts equally love the drive. They offer a huge selection of brand name tires and full service repairs, from oil changes to alignments to brakes. Tire Pros is giving your vehicle the TLC it deserves. Tire Pros is unique because each location is owned by men and women in our community, but with the added support and resources of over 600 locations nationwide. So next time you need to take your car in, show your neighbors some love and take it to your local Tire Pros. Tell them I sent you. You ready to go to Ask Junior?
I was just going to say that. Yes.
All right, let's get into some Ask Junior. Hey, everybody, it's Dale Jr. here at the Dale Jr. Download, and with me is my beautiful wife, Amy, and this is our segment, Ask Junior. Thank you all for sending in your questions. Got to get up to speed here with everything going on in the sport, and you can do that with the Xfinity Xfinity Mobile, the fastest mobile service with 5G and millions of Wi-Fi hotspots. And with its nationwide coverage, you'll know that it's always going to come through for you in the clutch. So make the switch today and save with Xfinity Mobile. Xfinity's a proud premier partner of NASCAR. We are customers.
Yes,
We're
we are.
Xfinity customers, very happy customers. I tell people all the time, and we're not just saying that. I'm thankful because the service is awesome. Here we go. Back. We're in. Yes.
Oh!
All right, we made that one. So, Andrew's got your questions that you sent in. We've had a great show today. I just want to say Dirty Air's been a lot of fun here, especially with Amy on board today. And tomorrow, Ray Evernham comes in. We're going to talk about SRX and IROC. So let's get
Can't
to
wait.
it. Yeah.
This first question is coming from James. Do you have a favorite Girl Scout cookie?
No.
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 You're not a. You don't have any. You don't have
even
any
like
of
them?
them.
Do you?
Really? You don't have a favorite Girl Scout cookie?
I couldn't tell you any of the brands
Oh.
or the
Wow.
types.
I mean, most people would say Thin Mints, and like you keep them in
Yeah.
the freezer.
Nope.
They're so good.
We
I
gotta
like
do
the
a
shortbread
video.
cookies, like the tag-alongs.
Oh, I'm a Samoa guy.
Samoas are really good,
Yeah.
too.
Well, I'm glad Amy came.
Yeah.
'Cause I was not
Those are
any
good.
help.
Those Samoas.
Nope. Next.
I think we need to get this poor boy some cookies.
I like peanut butter stuff, so what about
They
that?
have a peanut butter
that's
one.
the tag-along.
It's got the
I
chocolate
know
all
way
around
too
it.
much about Girl Scout cookies.
Dalton
They're
used to
so-
sell them.
Look,
Yeah, I used to. Yeah.
my situation is this. All right, I love to drink beer, and I love to stay in the same pair of pants or same size pants, and so I don't eat cookies.
So he's lying a little. He likes to drink beer, but what he will trade for it during the middle of the week
Yeah,
is candy. He is a
I do eat
and
some
he
chocolate.
can't control himself.
No.
So if there was a box
the
of Thin
go-to?
Mints in the freezer, he'd eat the whole thing
Oh.
in one setting. I get ice cream for the girls and like these little tiny ones, so that they can have a treat now and then. And if I don't declare them off limits, he will plow through all of them. Yeah,
Sorry.
Ice cream's my weakness too.
really.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Love ice cream.
All right.
All right, this next question coming from Edward, and this is actually perfect since both of you guys are here. Do you have a favorite family tradition?
With our little family, I mean, I like going to the beach, like physically going to the beach, walking on the beach, finding seashells. It's not like a super involved thing, but it's always something that all of us seem to really enjoy. I feel like Dale's going to say going to the racetrack.
No.
No?
Boy, that's tough because we're so new at this. I will say that I enjoy going to Texas to visit Amy's family. They do. We're never going to miss the traditional holidays. I really, I'm not saying this because she's here, but I love her family. They're so I'm the guy that's so freaking lucky on that.
We like to have a good time.
Yeah.
And we don't half-ass it. So Easter's big. We make Easter nests in the yard, and the Easter bunny comes and fills
It's a
them
big
up. Like
deal.
everybody's getting presents all
Yeah.
the time, and everybody's also got their cooler of beer. So like it's laid back.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
They put a ton of effort into it, and you have to, if you're going to be there, you're going to be part of it. You have to have this equal energy, but it's great. I've learned to adapt and become part of it. But I agree with Amy. I think we like going. We taking our girls to the beach on the Carolina coast. It's so this we're only a couple years into parenthood, but that's probably my favorite thing too. Is like us going to our vacation house. And us being, that's when we sort of disconnect, right?
Yeah, it's just us four.
Yeah,
And there's really no plans.
Yeah, it feels like there's nothing gonna come up that's gonna ruin the day, or if I'm here in Mooresville, there's always, hey, can you come by here? Can you do this? Hey, can you come over here? Can you read this? Can you say that? Can you do this? Because I'm here, right?
Yeah.
I'll sign this.
Which is great.
You know?
I'm here to work. But when you go there, you're like separated from everything. It's kind of nice.
We did just get a camper too, so I'm excited to make some traditions
We
doing that.
we talked about this last week on the show. So Camping World,
Yes.
we're going to get us a camper, and I think Camping World's going to give someone a camper through this process.
they're doing a giveaway, right?
Yeah. So, but our camper should be here in the next couple of days. I'm pumped about this thing.
The garage is filling up with crap that I've ordered. I am ready. I'm so excited. Because we can do that pretty easily, no matter what the weather's like, we can go anywhere.
Where's the first place you're going?
Kelly's given us a short list of places that are like within an hour or
Yeah.
two drive
Gotcha.
in the mountains and
campgrounds
some in
and
South
stuff?
Carolina. Yeah.
There's
We've
some
got
awesome
options.
places, I guess. The kids, a lot of stuff for the kids to do at these campgrounds. Over Easter, I think we're going to take it out to Texas.
Yep.
So it's going to get some use this year. And I'm going to take it to the races at Florence later in the year. Have some place to sleep, but should be great.
That's awesome. Actually, you answered one of the questions Pamela was wondering about the camper in the YouTube chat. So there you go.
It's coming so the camper will be here, hopefully, fingers crossed, sometime this week. And as soon as it does, we'll share with everybody, hey, this is a model. We looked through everything, and I've been looking at truck campers, bumper pulls, fifth wheels. So we've really, for like 2 or 3 years, sort of
Van conversions, all of the things.
we looked at everything, and I love this model that we got. It's going to fit our family perfectly, and I'm learning too that you can make it your own, if you will. There's a lot of things you can do with your fifth wheel that kind of custom, and it's fixable. I can work on this thing. So it's got a little solar on top. It's cool.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
I love it. This next question coming from George, and George is wondering, are you a good gift giver?
That's a good question for me.
I guess this is probably more for Amy.
I'd say he's a good gift giver if he's got good direction.
Okay.
He loves to give gifts. So like when he forgets, or and he's done this, and I'm sure he's talked to you about this before, if he forgets to do the stocking at Christmas or whatever, he feels bad. But he has a real lockup about trying to buy presents for someone with no direction. He like panics.
No direction.
It's tough.
So,
I don't know what to buy, Amy.
So here's the thing, like you just pay attention, right?
That's so easy
What does
for
my
her.
wife buy for herself? What does she like to go do?
That's so easy for her. It comes
It's
natural.
not. We've had a lot of conversations about this. We've gone through couples therapy. We've had plenty of conversations. It's not that hard.
Yeah.
Take some notes. How many notes do you have in your phone about iRacing? How many?
She's right.
There are freaking endless, copious amounts of notes on all the things, all the topics
In
that he
life,
wants
yeah.
to remember.
Yeah.
But there's not an Amy note.
Yeah.
Nope. What size shoe do I wear, Dale?
Yep.
Yep.
6.5, 7.
Yep, we're learning. But there's no note.
Yeah.
No.
He's got it all up here.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
Some things just fly in and out.
This is getting real.
Yeah, I didn't mean to.
Yeah.
When he gives a good gift, it's like beyond. He's
Look,
I don't need
hey.
him to give me gifts all the time, but I
No.
just want it to be thoughtful when he does.
So Valentine's Day comes, and I got her the Forever Roses. We bought these last year, and I like them, man. They last a year, right? They smell great, and they're beautiful to look at. And so they come in this little box. I got the girls a little tiny one, 4 pink roses for each one of them, and then Amy's was like anyways, box of Forever Roses. That's a great gift. I keep seeing this ad on my Instagram.
Oh, man.
For what?
Charcuterie board.
Oh God, the charcuterie board.
It's like, hey man, get your girl this for Valentine's Day. She'll love it. And it's coming at me over and over and over. And finally I'm like, okay, I'll get that, whatever. And so it comes in the mail, and I bring it into the kitchen on Valentine's Day and put it down, and it's got a red ribbon on it. Like, it's obvious that it's for Valentine's Day. It's got I love you and all that. And Amy's like, what was your response?
What's that? And
Nothing?
he's like,
Yeah.
it's for you. It's cheese plate. We love these. And I said, huh? Are you serious?
The
I mean-
freaking Instagram ad said this was going to be a hit.
False advertising.
I do love charcuterie.
I am so pissed at these people.
But when we
They
ever
set
get
me up to fail.
Yeah, they did. They saw you coming.
Yeah.
When we get things like this gifted to us at Christmas or whatever, they sit in the hallway. We wait until like family comes over or something. I don't really dive into them. We send them to the farm shop. This is where that paying attention thing comes into play. He should have known better that I'm not going to eat this wrapped up, hot, been traveling in a UPS truck cheese board. How is it still good? I don't know.
I ate it.
How are you feeling?
He threw the whole damn long boat of a thing in the refrigerator and pulled it out at 8 o'clock after he refused to eat what I made him for dinner.
Yeah,
That's what he ate for dinner.
You ruined your appetite.
Yeah.
Dang. We got time for one more quick question. Katie's asking, have the girls expressed any interest in playing sports? Like, you going to get them into soccer? Or,
Yeah, we were just kicking the soccer ball
We were
around
just
the
kicking
yard.
the soccer ball. Isla's hard because she doesn't want to commit to doing anything, and she also very much wants it to be her idea. So she has said something about wanting singing lessons and piano lessons.
Cool.
So maybe we'll start there. Soccer, we've thought about it. She doesn't really want to do the team thing, and it makes sense. She's very much like, I'm just going to do me. She's doing little gymnastics on Tuesday afternoons. Nicole, however, is very agile, and she seems to want to be a part of a team, go with the flow. She wants to do everything Isla's doing. I think she would be more likely to do soccer or dance or whatever. She too is always dancing and singing, so it's hard to tell.
So I got this little electric go-kart, bought it for Isla when she was 3.
I saw that.
Yes.
When she got it for her birthday at 3, she hopped on it, mashed the gas pedal, it took off, and she jumped off and hasn't wanted to get on it since. Finally, I got her to get back on it, and she rode around, and now we're a big fan of this go-kart, right? She's running it like crazy and having a great time. So that's one development.
Nicole did get on it too and got scared same. So maybe it's just the age.
Yeah. Now,
was too
Nicole jumped on it, bashed the gas. It goes forward.
Yeah.
She jumps off. Don't want nothing to do with it. So we have a soccer goal in the yard, 2 soccer balls. Me and Isla, she runs and kicks it into the goal, and then I send it back out to her, and she.
Well, so he and I were out there. All 4 of us were trying to kick
Yeah.
it. And then he and I started kicking it so much, I think that we got him, took the fun away from it. I was nervous he was going to plow somebody in the face because he gets into that game mode or that let's go, it's go time
Competitor,
mode.
yeah.
I'm thinking in my
And
head,
like,
it's not gonna hurt.
there's no pulling
Bounce
back.
right off of him.
Yeah. To knock him over maybe.
But I would love to influence Isla toward soccer or any volleyball or whatever it may be. Right? I know I can kick a ball with her. I can't. I don't know. I can't play volleyball, but I can kick soccer with her. But I'd love to sort of say, hey, what do you think about this? Right? Maybe you want to try this or whatever.
It would be good for her.
Yeah, it would.
Yeah, she needs the
Yeah,
structure.
she does. So I'm encouraging that. But yeah.
Good stuff.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Appreciate y'all tuning in, and thank you, Amy, for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, hope y'all enjoyed Amy being part of the show today. And thank you, Xfinity, for everything you do. If you haven't checked out Xfinity Mobile, you ought to. 5G network speeds and Wi-Fi spots all across the country. Great coverage. And we appreciate them for supporting us here at Dirty Mo Media. We'll see y'all.
Bye.